I'm Canadian, so it's normal that most of the stocks and the funds that I talk about on my channel are listed on the Canadian stock market or the Canadian exchange, or the TSX, the Toronto Stock Exchange. But I'm getting more and more comments and requests from Americans or even people outside of North America because they like my style of investing. The two most common questions and requests that I get are, number one, how could I invest in all these Canadian listed stocks? I cannot find them via my broker. When I search for the stock symbol or the ticker symbol, it doesn't even come up. Question number two, can you cover more stocks and funds that are listed on the US exchanges, either on the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange? So to my American viewers, this video is for you. I will go over a bunch of ETFs, which I think are great and match my style of investing. Now, if you're Canadian, this video can also be beneficial for you because, like I showcased in my RRSP Unveil video, I do hold a lot of US listed stocks and funds in my RRSP account. This is simply because the RRSP is completely immune to that 15% withholding tax on dividends from US listed stocks. So in this video, I want to focus on some of the great US listed ETFs that I found, some of which I already own myself, that are very compatible with my style of investing, the passive income focused style. So let's get to it. Now, regarding how Americans can buy or invest in Canadian listed stocks, I read a few things online, but I didn't really go deep into it. I read that some of the big brokers give you access to Canadian listed stocks like E-Trade, but then I heard from viewers that they can't find the stock symbols using E-Trade anyway. So in my opinion, if I were in your shoes, I would simply stick to US listed stocks and funds. I mean, why even bother with Canadian funds? Number one, you will have to pay withholding taxes on the dividends you get or distributions you get. Number two, you're American. Why bother when you guys have so much more choice and have the best stock market in the world at your disposal? It's really a no-brainer if you ask me. Stick with US listed stocks. Trust me, you guys have a lot more choice than us Canadians. Let's check out some of my top ETF choices designed for income. So I want to start with one of my favorite asset managers, Global X, which is owned by Murray Asset Management. They also manage Horizons ETFs in Canada. So they have a big suite of income-focused ETFs, which I really like. So we'll start with the covered call suite. They have 5 of them. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you have QYLD. QYLD is the undisputed king of covered call ETFs in the US. It tracks the NASDAQ 100 index. Then you have XYLD, tracks the S&P 500 index. And then you have the RYLD, which tracks the Russell 2000 index, a lesser known index, but Russell 2000 basically tracks 2000 of the really top-notch, smaller to mid-sized companies in the US. So the common denominator between these 3 amazing ETFs is very, very high yield. We're talking between 9 and 12% easily. Monthly distributions as well, which is nice. Really nice management, low management fee, about 0.65, 0.55, something like that. So really, really affordable. And what I really like about them is that they sell at the money call options, which are way more aggressive than out of the money call options. So a lot more aggressive means a lot more income, although you are giving up a lot of share price upside if, let's say, the S&P 500 grows or the NASDAQ 100 grows. So you're sacrificing basically your growth for a lot of income, which is absolutely amazing if you're a passive income investor like me. So QYLD, XYLD, RYLD should definitely be the foundation or the cornerstone if you're in the US and you're trying to build an income-focused portfolio. Of course, this is my opinion. Now, they also added 2 very interesting funds to the lineup, QYLG and XYLG. So QYLG also follows the NASDAQ 100 index, just like QYLD, and XYLG follows the S&P 500, just like XYLD. The only difference is, and this is why they call them and growth, covered call and growth, they only write the at-the-money call options on 50% or half of the portfolio. So it really balances out income and growth. So if if you're an investor who also wants some growth as well as some medium income, well, these 2 are probably going to be better options for you instead of QYLD and XYLD. I mean, you could get them both. It's really as you wish, but a really nice, I would say, a middle ground between income and growth. Very, very smart, if you ask me. So those are the covered call ETFs, but they also have a nice lineup of other ETFs. They classify them under a dividend. So really nice. There's no covered call options on them, but they focus really on dividend stocks. My favorite one has to be SDIV, Super Dividend ETF. This fund focuses on 100 of the highest dividend paying stocks around the world. What's really strong about SDIV is the regional diversification. You have Russia in here, you have China in here, South America, of course, a big portion in the US. So a really good way of getting regional diversification with only one ETF. It's absolutely phenomenal. You have DIV. DIV's okay, it focuses in the US only. And then you have SDEM is also really good. Focuses purely on emerging markets. So this is pure emerging market exposure. 50 of the highest yielding dividend stocks in emerging market. Although personally, I prefer SDIV over SDEM simply because there's already emerging markets in this. So it's a bit more better balanced in my opinion. You also have SRET, which is the 30 REITs. Top REITs around the world that give high yielding dividends. So they focus primarily on mortgage REITs, which is all right. It's not so bad. Personally, I prefer to actually get the Super Dividend Alternatives ETF. This is a really cool fund which focuses on alternative income generating categories, including real estate, MLPs, and infrastructure. So MLPs are master limited partnerships, or pipeline companies basically. And the biggest holding in ALTY is SRET anyway. So I prefer ALTY over SRET, but that's just my opinion. So some really nice ones. And if we scroll down, they have a couple of other ones that are really good. If you're into safety, you want some exposure to preferred shares, which is kind of like, a bonds, so to speak. The best one is really this one here, the Super Income Preferred ETF. You're getting about 5 or 6 dividend yield annually. Very safe and stable exposure because it's preferred shares. They also have MLP and MLPX, which focuses purely on the midstreams or the pipelines, and then MLPX focuses on the pipelines as well as some infrastructure. So these two are not bad as well. So some really nice options if you're into income focused funds here. They have a nice lineup for dividend funds. They have a nice lineup of covered call funds. Absolutely phenomenal choices if you're in the US. Now, it's very important. I want to point out that Global X also has some really nice growth style ETFs if you want to get exposure to some of the really hot trends that are going on right now. Not really my style. I like to focus more on income focus, but if ever you want to get some really good exposure to a bunch of wacky stuff, I mean, there's everything here, everything you could ever imagine. I mean, there's LIT, which gives you exposure to lithium and battery technology companies, robotics and artificial intelligence, cloud computing, fintech, ETFs, which are basically technology-based financial companies trying to disrupt the big banks. You have cybersecurity, electric vehicles, video games, and I mean it goes on and on. One that I really want to point out to you is POTX. This focuses on cannabis stocks. So it's a really good ETF if you want to invest in cannabis in the US. And I mean, there's really a bunch of them. Here's a renewable energy one, renewable energy producers. Then you have this one here, GXTG, which is a collection of like 8 of these ETFs. There's a bunch of these. So you have really a lot of options here. If you're also looking into growth, all you got to do is click explore our ETFs. And instead of choosing income, you choose thematic growth, and you have the list here. So really nice funds if you're looking for some growth in some really hot and emerging sectors of the market. Another 2 ETFs I want to show you real quick. This is thanks to some of the viewers who have sent me these ETFs to check out. So the first one I want to cover is from JP Morgan. It's the JP Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF. The stock symbol is JEPI. Really cool fund. Very similar to XYLD from Global X. So this is a covered call ETF that tracks the S&P 500. So you're looking at a dividend yield, I mean about 7 or 8%. It changes every month, so it's a bit hard to track the income, but it basically follows the S&P 500 and it sells covered call options on it, and they try to get less volatility. So this is one where if you want something nice and stable and steady with some decent income, this is a great choice. So once again, JEPI, JP Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF. Another one is the NUSI, so the stock symbol NUSI. This is the Nationwide Risk Managed Income ETF. So this is similar to QYLD because it tracks the NASDAQ 100 index. You could see that right here. So very important, guys, when you're looking at the funds, always open the fact sheet and read it. You'll get all the information you need. So like JP Morgan, like JEPI, it gives you a nice dividend yield of about 7 or 8%. Once again, it varies monthly. So you can see here the 12-month average right now is 7.5. So these guys have an interesting strategy where they write covered calls on the NASDAQ 100, but they also write protective put options as well. So there's some downside protection as well as income generation. Really cool idea. I suggest you check out the video. It's a 2.5-minute video that actually explains how it works. So pretty interesting. I mean, definitely these two are definitely meant for income. A little bit similar to the covered call ETFs from Global X, but a little bit more finesse, I would say, a little bit more balance between safety, income, and growth as well. The last funds I want to show you are from a company called Credit Suisse, X-Links ETNs. So ETNs, I never even knew that they existed. They're basically exchange traded notes. So they're kind of like ETF bonds. It's really kind of wacky, but really cool. I don't understand fully what they are yet, but to me, they simply look like ETFs. So these ETNs, there's 4 of them. They have 4 in their suite here, and they focus on writing covered calls on commodities. So you have GLDI, which focuses on gold. This basically does the exact same thing that HGY does. This is an ETF from Horizons. They write covered calls on the actual gold bullion or gold commodity. So really interesting way of getting high income with commodities exposure. So GLDI focuses on gold, SLVO focuses on silver, and USOI focuses on crude oil. So if you're, what's cool about these is the dividends are really high. You could actually see the dividend yields here. Really crazy high. Keep in mind that the monthly income or the monthly dividend varies greatly. That's one thing you need to be aware of. So these are really perfect if you're a long-term buy and hold investor. You're an income investor that really doesn't mind getting a little bit of a wacky number distribution every month. Like I said, it could vary month to month, but hey, if you're you want to get money from gold or silver or oil, these are great options. If you're an income investor, you buy them, you leave them in there, you forget about them, and you get monthly income, although it varies greatly month to month. So you have those 3, and you also have REML, which focuses on mortgage REITs, and it has 2 times leverage on it. So you're looking at, once again, like the other 3, really nice income. Of course, it varies every month, but it's a good way to get high income from mortgage REITs if you want that exposure. So really cool ETNs here, not ETFs, but really nice if you're a pure income investor that doesn't mind getting a variety of different dividend amounts every month. Really good choice here. So there you go, guys. Some really nice options for you if you're outside of Canada and only have access to US listed stocks. Of course, there are many more ETFs out there, but I think you could definitely start building a solid and diversified portfolio with the ones I presented. Global X have a lot of great ones, including not only covered call ETFs, but also dividend ETFs, which are designed for both income and growth, as well as all those nice growth themed ETFs that we saw, like artificial intelligence and renewable energy, fintech, etc. Now, what about non-ETFs, things like income funds or aka closed-end funds, which also provide really high passive income? Well, I can tell you that there's a ton of them on the US market. I did some preliminary research using my screener tool in my broker, and I searched for income funds listed on the US that have a dividend yield of over 9%, and there are easily 40 or 50 of them, and a lot of them seem very interesting. So you guys are absolutely spoiled for choice. So I'm currently going through them all, and I'm planning to make another video covering my favorite US listed income funds or closed-end funds. So stay tuned for that. I'm also planning on adding a lot of them in my second version, in the second version of my digital product, the Ultimate Dividend Passive Income Investing Package. If you haven't purchased it already, you can get it on my website, passiveincomeinvesting.ca. And very important to keep in mind, you only need to purchase it one time, as it comes with free lifetime updates. I don't want to charge people again when there's an updated version that comes out. So you buy it once and you'll always get the updated version when it comes out. So this product is basically all my years of researching the best ETFs, income funds, split funds, etc. to help you build your own portfolio no matter what your investing style is. So the next version will be much more American friendly because I'll add a filter where you can easily see which funds are listed on the US stock market. Don't forget, guys, that you could book a one-on-one video chat consultation with me personally if ever you want me to review your existing portfolio or help you build a new portfolio. I'll answer all your questions. Whatever your needs are, I'll do my utmost to help you. It's very easy to book the appointment. You have to go on my website. It's right on the homepage, passiveincomeinvesting.ca. There's a giant calendar and you find an open spot, very easy, and you book the appointment. I only charge 150 Canadian dollars for it, which is pretty cheap if you think about it, because I'm spending at least 2 to 3 hours on each case and answering all your follow-up questions. And honestly, I'm having a blast doing it. I love meeting new people from all walks of life all over the country, including from the US. I've had my first one-on-one from a client in America, and I had fun building that portfolio. It's really fun for me, so make sure to book that one-on-one if you're interested. And as always, please support me. Please support this channel by hitting that like button. It's free for you, helps the channel out, so it's a win-win. Finally, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on my future content and community posts. I'm starting to use community posts more and more to give you guys a heads up on any breaking news for any of the stocks and funds that I own and cover. And only if you're subscribed, you get to see those. So make sure to subscribe. We're also on Instagram and Facebook, so make sure to follow us there as well if you have those. Our mission remains the same, guys. It's to help everyday working people to invest on their own in order to build their own stream of passive income to enhance their quality of life. So with that, take care, guys. Stay safe and see you next time.